AITA for telling my cousin her kids aren't my responsibility? I spent 4 years saving for one vacation, and the moment I finally booked it, my cousin tried to hijack the entire trip by dumping her kids on me. When I refused, my whole family turned it into a guilt-filled intervention that blew up in their faces. I'm 24F, and I just finished one of the most brutal chapters of my life. 4 years of college, full course load, night shifts, weekend shifts, holiday shifts, student loans stacked in my name, energy drinks instead of real meals, instant noodles more often than actual food, falling asleep on textbooks, rushing from class straight into uniforms, coming home at 3 a.m. just to wake up a couple of hours later and do it all again. I didn't get the college experience. I didn't get spring breaks, cute weekend getaways, spontaneous road trips, or finding myself. I got exhaustion. I got stress headaches. I got panic when a bill came in. I got silence when other people were out having fun. This summer was the only thing I had been looking forward to. One thing for me, not a party, not a luxury vacation, nothing extravagant, just a tiny private room at a hostel, cheap ferry rides, small museums, wandering markets, sitting by the water, breathing without thinking about shifts or assignments. I saved for almost 2 years. Change in jars, tips tucked in envelopes, skipping takeout, skipping new clothes, skipping outings. Every small sacrifice feeding into this one plan. It was sacred to me. Then my cousin Maribel called. She's 31, married, 2 kids, 6 and 4, constantly stressed, constantly overwhelmed, constantly talking about how hard motherhood is. At first the call was normal, casual actually. Then she laughed and said she saw my post about my trip. Said it was a funny coincidence because she and her husband would be in the same area the following week. I honestly thought she meant we'd meet for coffee or something. I even said that could be nice. That's when she dropped it, all cheerful like she was giving me a gift. Oh no, girl. I mean, it's perfect because you can stay with the kids while we go out during the day. At first I laughed because I genuinely thought she was joking. She did not laugh back. She started explaining it like it was already decided. Their schedule, their plans, how I could just stay at their rental with the kids from morning to evening while they finally got some adult time. She said it like my trip somehow didn't exist anymore, like it just became a free babysitting service the moment they were near. I said, wait, you seriously mean babysit? During the trip I saved 2 years for. And she replied, I will never forget this. Well, yeah, you're single. You don't have kids. What else were you even planning to do? I felt something snap. Actually snap. All the nights I worked. All the exams I cried over. All the meals I skipped. All the times I said no to friends. All the times I sat alone while everyone else built memories. Just erased in one sentence like none of it mattered. I said, I planned this for myself. I'm not a built-in nanny because you decided to have kids. Her voice went sharp. Nasty. Wow. So you really are selfish. I thought family mattered more to you than a walk on a stupid beach. And I said, I thought my life mattered to me more than your poor planning. She hung up. I thought that would be the end. I was dead wrong. The next morning, my phone started buzzing nonstop. My aunt, her mother, called first. Didn't even say hello. Just, how dare you turn your back on your cousin like this? As if I had left her stranded somewhere instead of declining unpaid labor during MY vacation. She said I was abandoning a mother in need. She kept repeating, you don't understand real responsibility. I told her real responsibility is taking care of the kids you chose to bring into the world, not dumping them on whoever is nearby. My uncle texted and said, this is what's wrong with your generation. All about me. I replied, you mean like choosing to have kids then trying to push them on someone else? That kind of me? Then Maribel's husband messaged me on social media. Didn't even know he had my account. He wrote, if you were a decent human being, you'd help a struggling mother instead of chasing some fantasy trip. He called me cold, heartless, immature. That's when I went off. I told him if he wanted couple time so badly, maybe he should have thought about that before creating 2 human beings. I told him it wasn't my job to sacrifice the one break I've earned so he could go pretend he wasn't a dad for a few days. I told him to stop pretending they were victims of their own choices. He blocked me instantly. After that, the family group chat turned into an execution. People I barely even talked to suddenly had opinions, calling me ungrateful, saying I was spoiled for wanting something for myself, saying she's single. What does she even need a trip for? Like being alone means my life has no value. And I didn't stay quiet. Not this time. I told them exactly what I thought. I said I wasn't raised to be someone's backup plan, their free labor, their emotional garbage bin. I said if standing up for myself made me selfish, then fine, I'd rather be selfish than used. I told them I was tired of being the convenient one, the quiet one, the one who just accepted whatever was handed to her. Some of them tried to guilt me. Some of them insulted me. Some of them told me I'd regret this one day. And I told them, I'd regret letting you all walk all over me more. Maribel then posted vague things online online about betrayal and people who only care about themselves and fake family. People commented in support of her like she was some kind of martyr, like I owed her something for existing. The worst part? Not one single person asked how I was doing. Not one asked how hard the last 4 years had been. Not one asked what I went through to earn this moment. They just decided I was the villain in a story where I refused to play servant. Update 1. Maribel didn't just keep it in the family like a normal human being. She dragged her entire friend group, her coworkers, and half of the internet into it. I woke up to my phone vibrating nonstop. Notifications, tags, DMs, screenshots being forwarded to me. People I hadn't spoken to since high school were suddenly weighing in on my character. She started posting these dramatic, sympathy-fishing status updates that technically didn't say my name, but everyone who knows us knew exactly who she was talking about. Some people think getting a degree makes them better than mothers. Imagine turning your back on family just so you can chase a self-care fantasy. Must be nice to only care about yourself. Underneath, dozens of comments. She sounds so heartless. I'd never leave my cousin like that. Some people don't understand sacrifice. Those poor kids. Like I personally walked into her house and took food out of their hands. Then came the private messages from her friends. Women I don't even know. One told me, "You must really hate children to do this." Another said, "Enjoy your lonely life by the sea while your cousin struggles." One woman literally wrote, "Karma will come for you when you're a mother." I snapped back. I didn't even try to be polite. I said, maybe when that struggling mother stops using other people as unpaid staff, people might have a little more sympathy. Another replied, "Wow, you're actually cruel." And I wrote back, "And you're actually ignorant." Glad we cleared that up. Then, someone sent me screenshots of what she was telling people privately. She was straight up lying. She told them I had begged her to let me watch her kids during the trip, but that I suddenly changed my mind because I found a guy and wanted to party instead. I was shaking when I read that. Shaking. So I did the one thing I had been avoiding. I went directly to the source. I commented on one of her biggest posts, the one with like 60 comments of people dragging me without even knowing the full story. I didn't sugarcoat anything. I wrote, "Just to be clear, since you're enjoying the attention, nobody ever promised to watch your kids. I saved for this trip for 2 years. I'm not your free nanny, and I never agreed to be. Stop lying to make yourself look like a victim." Within minutes, she deleted the whole thing. The post, the comments, everything, like it never existed. But screenshots? Already taken, already circulating. And then, she took it to another level. She showed up at my job. I was in the middle of a shift, trying to focus, trying to act like a normal human being, when I felt eyes burning into the side of my face. I looked up, and there she was, standing there, arms crossed, jaw clenched, staring at me like I was some criminal she had tracked down. My manager walked over and asked if she needed help, and Maribel didn't even look at her. She just pointed at me and said, loudly, so everyone could hear, "I need to know why my own cousin hates my children so much." The store went silent. Every single person looked at me. I felt my face go hot. My hands were shaking, and all the anger I had been holding in for days just exploded. I said, "Get out. Right now. You are not doing this here." She started getting emotional, doing that shaky voice thing she does when she wants to look like the victim. "I just don't understand how you can be so cold. I trusted you. The kids trusted you." I snapped, louder this time. "Your kids do not know me like that. And don't you dare come in here and humiliate me just because you're mad I won't raise your children for you." Someone gasped. My manager stepped closer, telling us to lower our voices. "And Maribel?" She pointed at me in front of everyone and said, "You used to be a good person. College turned you into a selfish, arrogant asterisk. That did it." I said, clear as day, no hesitation. "No, you turned into a manipulative user and you're mad I finally saw it." She started crying, loud, over the top, performing. "I would never treat you this way," she sobbed, and the words flew out of my mouth before I could even think. "You wouldn't treat me this way because you've never done a damn thing for me in your life." There was dead silence. Then my manager told her if she didn't leave immediately, security would be called. She walked out hysterically, and I just stood there, heart racing, hands clenched, feeling a mix of adrenaline and humiliation. Within an hour, my phone was flooded again. "Why did you make her cry? She was just trying to talk to you. You embarrassed her in public. Those kids are suffering because of you. Oh, and the best one from her husband. Congratulations. You officially destroyed our family." I didn't hold back. I replied, "No, you destroyed your own family the second you started expecting everyone else to raise it for you." He blocked me. My aunt left a voice message telling me I was a disgrace. My uncle said I should apologize like a grown woman. Some of my cousins won't even open my messages now. Others are just silent, watching, not taking sides, not defending me, not even checking if I'm okay. And the messed up thing? I don't even feel bad anymore. I feel angry and tired and weirdly calm because finally, the truth is out in the open. And if they want to yell, fine. I can yell back. Update 2: my aunt said she wanted to clear the air. That should have been my first warning. She didn't call me. She didn't text me. She She just dropped a link into the group chat and wrote, "Everyone be on at 7. It's time to settle this." No context, no explanation, just a command. Against my better judgment, I joined. The second my screen loaded, my stomach dropped. It wasn't just her. It was a full-on tribunal. 6 faces in little boxes, all staring at me like I'd walked into a courtroom and they'd already decided the verdict. My aunt in the main square, arms crossed. My cousin Brielle right beside her, already sniffling and shaking her head. 2 uncles I barely speak to. One older cousin who hasn't asked me how I am in years. And someone's partner who, honestly, had zero reason to even be there. No one smiled. No one said hi. My aunt opened with, "We're all here because you've been acting very cold toward this family." Before I could even respond, my other uncle went, "We raised you better than this." And that really set me off. Raised me? You showed up to 2 birthdays and brought a half-eaten grocery store cake, and now you're talking like you built my entire character? Brielle started crying immediately, like on cue. Loud, dramatic, choking sobs. "You made me look like a monster," she said, wiping her face. "You don't even care what you did to me." I laughed, actually laughed, out loud. I couldn't help it. "What I did to you?" I said. "You mean when I refused to rearrange my entire life because you decided you deserved free labor?" Everyone started talking over each other at once. "You're selfish. You've changed. College really got to your head. You think you're better than us." That one stuck. "You think you're better than us." So I leaned forward and said, "I don't think I'm better than you. I just know I'm not your on-call servant." Silence for half a second, then chaos. Brielle shot up out of her seat. "You are such an ungrateful, bitter person," she screamed. "You don't even understand what it's like to be a mother. You don't know real responsibility. And you don't understand what it's like to respect boundaries." I shot back. "You mistake people not bending to your demands as abuse. That's a you problem." My aunt slammed her hand on her desk. I could hear it through the mic. "You will not speak to her like that," she yelled. "She's drowning, and you're just standing there watching. Family is supposed to help each other. When was the last time any of you helped me?" I snapped. "When I was struggling, where were you? When I needed support, where were you? When I was sick, stressed, exhausted, where were you?" No one answered. They couldn't, so I kept going. "Don't suddenly remember I exist just because you want something from me." One of my uncles, who I swear doesn't even know my middle name, leaned in and said, "You're heartless. You're going to end up alone with that attitude." I pointed at him through my screen. "And you're going to keep using people and calling it family until no one answers your calls." So I guess we're both making predictions today. That made his wife gasp like I slapped him through the computer. Brielle lost it again. "You're jealous of me," she screamed. "You're jealous I have a family. You're jealous I'm loved." I don't know what inside me snapped, but all the sugarcoating left my body. If you were actually loved the way you claim, you wouldn't be on a call begging people to guilt someone into helping you. You wouldn't need to perform for sympathy. That's not love. That's survival with an audience. My aunt started crying now too. "You've become so cruel," she said, shaking her head. "We don't even recognize you." "Good," I said, my voice steady, because I finally recognized myself. Everyone started yelling again. Overlapping voices, accusations, insults, calling me names, saying I needed therapy, saying I was poisoned by selfishness, saying I forgot where I came from. And I just sat there and let them exhaust themselves. When the noise died down, I said one last thing. "You didn't call this to understand me. You called this to break me until I said yes. And it's not happening. Ever." Then I clicked leave. Update 3 for 3 whole days. My phone didn't light up with her name. No text from my aunt. No weird passive-aggressive memes from relatives who had never even asked me how I was doing. No, you still have time to change your mind. No, think about the children. Nothing. It was quiet in a way that almost felt like relief. I started sleeping better. My chest didn't feel tight every time my phone buzzed. I even caught myself laughing at something stupid online without immediately feeling guilty for being happy. Then the voice message came through. 9 minutes and 42 seconds long. I stared at it for a while before I pressed play. I don't know why I even did. Some part of me still wanted to believe she had finally realized how out of line she'd been. Some part of me hoped there would be an apology buried in that audio. There wasn't. It started with crying. Not the "oops, I'm emotional" cry, but the full-on shaky, dramatic, throat-closing sobbing that sounds like it's being performed for an audience. She kept stopping, sniffing, waiting for the moment to land. "I don't know what I ever did to deserve this kind of treatment from my own family," she said in between gasps. "I'm not sleeping. I'm so tired. You wouldn't understand what it's like to wake up and have 2 small people depending on you for literally everything. Every meal, every bathroom trip, every nightmare." She dragged it out. Every word soaked in guilt, like she expected me to reach through the phone and take the burden off her shoulders just by listening. Then it flipped. I just needed one person, just one, to be in my corner. And I thought that was you. I actually laughed at that, out loud, in my empty room. She wasn't building a bridge. She was setting a trap. By minute 6, the crying switched into anger with a sad girl filter over it. "You've just changed so much since school. You used to be sweet. Now you're cold. You talk down to people. You act act like you're better because you're educated and independent. And then came the part that made my stomach go hard and flat. Honestly, it's pathetic how obsessed you are with yourself. You don't even know what real struggle is. You don't know what love is. You don't know what sacrifice is. You just think the world owes you a beach and silence while the rest of us drown. I could feel my hands shaking, but not from guilt, from pure, electric anger. She kept going. And yet, since you're already selfish enough to go, the least you could do is take the kids for 2 nights. Just 2. That's it. Give me that small break, and maybe I could forgive you for the way you've treated me. I'm not asking for much, but if you refuse, then I'll know exactly what kind of person you really are. There it was, the demand hidden inside the tears. I didn't cry. I didn't pace. I didn't sit in silence trying to find peace. I answered immediately, but not with another voice message. One single sentence. I am not your backup plan for the life you chose. That's it. No emojis. No extra words. No softening. No apology hidden inside the message. 30 seconds later, delivered. 2 minutes later, read. Then, blocked. On messages. On social media. On every platform we ever shared. It wasn't over, though, because when someone like her loses control of you, they don't just disappear quietly. They try to burn you on the way out. Within an hour, people started messaging me screenshots. She had posted a long, messy rant about betrayal, about people who think they're above motherhood, about blood meaning nothing anymore. Did she use my name? No. Did every single person in the family know exactly who she meant? Absolutely. One of my cousins sent me her caption with 3 words added underneath. She's going insane. Another one said, she's calling you a soulless robot in the comments. Some of it was almost funny if it didn't make me want to flip a table. She wouldn't last one day in my life. She has no heart. She thinks a piece of paper from a school makes her important. She'd turn her back on children in need. What kind of woman does that? What kind of woman, apparently, says no? Then came the private messages. Random relatives who had never once checked in on me suddenly felt bold enough to tell me everything that was wrong with me. You don't deserve your education with that attitude. You've always been arrogant. So you think you're better than mothers now? You better hope you never need help in your life. And for once, I didn't shrink. I didn't keep the peace. I didn't swallow it down. I returned the energy. I wrote back to one. You confuse boundaries with disrespect because you've never had to respect anyone else's. Another one got, don't talk to me about sacrifice when you don't even know what I sacrificed to get here. And my personal favorite to the one who called me heartless. A heart doesn't mean letting someone use you. It means knowing when to tell them no. People try to clap back. Some unfriended me instantly. Some went silent. A few sent angry voice notes that I didn't even bother opening. And you know what shocked me the most? For every person insulting me, another quietly sent, I get it. I just don't want drama. I wish I had your courage. She's out of line for that, even if I can't say it out loud. I wasn't the villain in everyone's story. Update before I went on the trip. No speeches, no dramatic goodbye. I just packed what I needed, locked my door, and left like a ghost slipping out of my own life for a few days. I didn't announce it to anyone after everything that happened. I didn't send a heading out message. I didn't post a countdown. I just went. And for the first time in 4 years, my phone was quiet. No alarms for work. No shift schedule screenshots. No family group chat notifications blowing up my screen. No guilt. No noise. No demands. Just space. I walked everywhere. I mean everywhere. My legs ached in that good, earned way. I wandered into random streets with mismatched buildings, tiny corner shops, places that smelled like salt and soap and baked bread. I ate cheap food sitting at tiny tables, watching strangers live their lives without knowing a single thing about mine. I stood by the water for hours doing nothing but listening. No voice in my head telling me I should be doing something more productive. No one calling me lazy. No one reminding me what they thought I owed them. The quiet was so loud at first it almost hurt. Then it turned into peace. I slept better than I had in years. I woke up slowly. I didn't rush. I didn't apologize for existing. For the first time, my life felt like it belonged only to me. And that's when everything blew up again. One of my cousins, the only one who hadn't yelled at me, reposted a picture I'd sent her privately. It was harmless. Just me sitting near the water, sun on my face. No caption. She wrote, "Proud of you for choosing yourself." That's it. That was all it took. Within an hour, my phone started lighting up. Messages from people I hadn't heard from since literal childhood. Distant relatives. Old family friends. Random numbers I didn't even have saved. First came the fake concern. Must be nice to just disappear when family needs you. Wish I had the luxury of pretending the world doesn't exist. So you're really out here partying instead of helping your cousin? Then came Maribel. She commented publicly under the repost where everyone could see. It's easy to look happy when you abandon your family. Must be nice living that fake free life while real mothers struggle. I stared at the words for a good minute before I even blinked. Fake life, while she was sitting in someone else's house, scrolling on her phone, typing lies about me. I was finally breathing for the first time in years. While she was trying to rewrite reality so she could stay the victim, I was out here actually living. So I replied, in public, fake is pretending someone promised you free childcare. Fake is acting like I signed up to raise your kids. Fake is trying to shame me because you regret the choices you made. She immediately replied, wow, still selfish, still bitter, still heartless. And I wrote back, you're not heartbroken. You're just mad you lost control. That sent her into a meltdown. She started posting stories, a flood of them, quote graphics, crying selfies, paragraphs about betrayal, about how being a mother is the hardest job in the world, and how some women will never understand sacrifice. Then she tagged me. She wrote, some people walk around with empty lives and call it freedom. And for just a second, I almost laughed, because if what I was feeling, the quiet, the relief, the clarity, was empty, then I never wanted to be full again. Another family member messaged me. She's crying her eyes out. You didn't have to be so cruel. So I responded, tell her I cried for years. I just did it in silence so she wouldn't have to see. That got screenshot. That got sent around. Then my aunt, her mother, called me, screaming into the phone so loud it distorted. How dare you humiliate her? She is a mother. She is exhausted. You are younger. You should be helping, not traveling around acting above everyone. And I finally lost the last bit of patience I had been holding on to. I said, don't you ever talk to me like I'm some servant you can order around. I didn't get pregnant. I didn't ask for children. I didn't sign up for her life. And I sure as hell don't owe you my time or my body or my future just because you raised someone who thinks the world owes her back. She gasped like I'd slapped her through the phone. Then she switched tactics and went straight for the wounds. You think you're better than us now because you got a degree? You think you're special? And I said, without even raising my voice, no, I think I'm tired of being your punching bag. Silence. Not the dramatic kind, the stunned kind, the kind where they realize they don't have power over you anymore. When I hung up, my hands were shaking, not from fear, from adrenaline. I stared at them and realized this was the same pair of hands that had worked nights, poured coffee, carried books, counted pennies, filled out financial aid forms, stayed up when everyone else slept. And now those hands were holding peace. More messages came. Insults too. They called me cold, bitter, unnatural, unfeminine, selfish, a disappointment, a bad example. And for once in my life, none of it stuck because their voices were finally quieter than my own. I posted one last thing, not naming anyone, not explaining the whole story, just one simple line. You can't shame someone who finally knows their worth. Then I put my phone on airplane mode and I went back outside. Update 5, I didn't plan on ever hearing from her again. After the trip, after the posts, after the screaming phone calls, the family group chats exploding, the screenshots, the side messages, the passive-aggressive memes, the concerned relatives pretending to check in just so they could guilt me again. I honestly thought that chapter was finally closed. 2 whole months passed. No contact, no calls, no texts, no fake posts about betrayal, just unfamiliar silence. And then, out of nowhere, her name popped up on my screen again. For a second, I just stared at it. Like, really? You again? I almost didn't open it. My thumb hovered for a good minute, but curiosity won. Her message was short at first, like she didn't even know how to start. Hey, that was it. Just hey. No nickname. No fake sweetness. No sis. No, I miss you. Just 3 letters. I didn't respond. A few hours later, she sent another message. I shouldn't have tried to force you. That was her version of an apology. Not I'm sorry. Not I was wrong. Just a flat statement like she was reading it off a paper and hoping it would fix everything. I stared at the words and actually felt nothing. No anger. No relief. No satisfaction. Just tired. She kept typing. You wouldn't believe what's been going on. I still didn't reply. So she kept going anyway. My sitter quit. Just stopped showing up. No explanation. Then the girl I had lined up for backup said she can't anymore because it's too much. My neighbor won't help either. She said I'm too much drama. Can you believe that? After everything I've done for people. I read that sentence twice and almost laughed out loud. After everything I've done for people. The same person who tried to turn me into unpaid childcare. The same person who sent her husband to guilt me. The same person who dragged my name online, in family group chats, at my job, and still she was calling herself the victim. Another message came in quickly after that. I'm exhausted. I don't get a break. No one steps up for me. I'm doing this alone. My phone buzzed again. Maybe you could just help for a little bit, just until I figure something out. I know you say you're hashing out your own life, but this is serious. There it was. Not remorse. Opportunity. She didn't reach out because she missed me. She didn't reach out because she finally saw me as a person. She reached out because the people she tried to use before had finally had enough. Her world had started closing its doors, and suddenly I was useful again. I didn't answer. A day passed, then 2. Then she came in hot. Wow, so you really just don't care if your own family struggles, huh? You really are that cold. That one almost got me. My hands actually tightened around my phone. 2 months of silence, and she still had the audacity to insult me the second she wasn't getting what she wanted. So I finally replied. You didn't message me to apologize. You messaged me because you ran out of options. Instant response. response. Wow, after everything, you're still so nasty. And I typed back, every word slow and careful. You stood in my workplace and accused me of hating your children. You sent people to attack me. You called me selfish for wanting one thing for myself. You don't get to call me nasty. Look in the mirror. That flipped the switch completely. She sent a whole paragraph, voice to text. I could tell because of the lack of punctuation and the rambling. You think you're better than me because you can walk around and play pretend adult with no responsibilities. I have real responsibilities. You only worry about yourself. You don't even know what real life is. This is why nobody respects you. I read maybe half of it and just felt something snap. Not sadness, not anger, finality. So I sent one last message. I am not stepping into a life you created and then complained about. You want a break? Hire one. You want support? Ask someone you didn't try to destroy. I am not your emergency contact, your backup plan, or your second parent. Don't message me again. She didn't reply to that. Not right away, anyway. But my phone started blowing up again from other numbers. Her sister. She's crying her eyes out. What is wrong with you? My aunt. You could have at least been kind. Random cousin. Honestly, you're acting like a heartless witch. So I responded to the group chat that I'd muted for weeks, but never left. She tried to use me. She failed. Now she's desperate. That isn't my problem. And they went off. One of them wrote, "You've changed and not in a good way." So I said, "Good. That means I finally changed in a way you can't control." Another one said, "You act like you're the only one who struggled." And I said, "I'm the only one you try to turn into free labor." Then someone wrote the one that really set me off. "You're still just a child in your head." And I snapped, "If I'm such a child, then why do you keep trying to drop kids on me?" That shut a few of them up. The rest just read it. No more typing bubbles. No more insults. No more lectures. And for the first time in over 2 months, I didn't feel the need to defend myself any further. I didn't feel the need to explain, convince, argue, cry, or scream. I just put the phone down. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't even relieved. I was just done. Update 6. Things shifted. Slowly at first, but unmistakably. The family dynamic changed, and it was like watching a tidal wave come in, except this time it was on my side. Family gatherings became something I actually wanted to go to. The same cousins who had lectured me for being selfish started including me in plans again. They'd ask, "Hey, are you coming?" instead of, "Why aren't you helping with?" Every time they did that, I almost laughed out loud. The audacity of respect felt so new it was dizzying. Maribel? She wasn't invited anymore. Not officially, at least. Too much drama, they said. Too much drama. The same people who had defended her, encouraged her, and screamed at me for being independent were now quietly admitting they'd seen enough. She showed up once to a barbecue anyway, but people barely looked at her. I was sitting at the picnic table, laughing with other cousins, and I could feel her glare burning holes in my back. I didn't care. I didn't even glance. And the texts? Oh, the texts didn't stop, of course. Her sisters, her friends, even some random distant relatives who had heard this story filtered through family gossip chains. "You think you won," one cousin wrote. "I've never seen you so cold," another chimed. "You're impossible." One of her friends added in a group message she tried to include me in. I replied, every single time. Not with anger, not with guilt, not with explanations. Just sharp, honest boundaries that clip their entitled wings one by one. I didn't win. I just stopped being your punching bag. Impossible? I think the word you're looking for is refuse to be exploited. Cold. I think you mean not your unpaid babysitter anymore. It got under their skin. They knew it. I could see it. Messages went silent for hours. Then they came back with weak justifications, excuses, and attempts to gaslight me into guilt. I let them write. I didn't respond. They had nothing to say that would land anymore. At work, my energy changed too. I laughed more. I slept better. I saved more money because the constant emotional drain was gone. No more dropped hours to help family emergencies. No more constant buzzing phone. No more random strangers judging my life choices because they thought they had a right to my labor. Once, Maribel herself texted, "Finally, a week, almost sheepish, I hope you're okay." I stared at the message for 5 minutes. I could feel the old me flinching, the me who had almost caved during the pity voice messages and the manipulation. But I didn't reply. Later that week, she showed up at another small family event uninvited. The subtle tension when she walked in was hilarious. Everyone gave her a few polite nods at most, but conversations quieted when she entered. Her husband looked nervous, clutching their kids, realizing they weren't the center of attention. I sat 2 tables away, quietly enjoying a lemonade and a slice of cake. And when she looked at me, I didn't even flinch. Her sister came over instead. "You really are different now," she whispered. I smiled. "Different how?" "Stronger. You finally put yourself first. You set boundaries, and people are listening." And that was it. That was the confirmation I needed. Not Maribel's apologies, not her threats, not the lectures. The people who mattered were noticing. The people who used to insult me were now watching me live my life on my own terms. I've never felt more real, more solid, more untouchable in my decisions. People still text occasionally, questioning, insulting, or trying to provoke a reaction. And every single time, I respond internally before externally. I don't care. I don't owe you anything. I am done. And for the first time in my adult life, that wasn't a defense mechanism. That was a lifestyle. I sleep better. I laugh more. I live for myself. And no one, literally no one, has asked me to raise their children anymore. Not for free. Not for a day. Not for an hour. For the first time, the coast feels like mine. Update 7. This is where it finally crystallized. Where the dust settled and I could see, without question, that I had won. Not in the sense that anyone had to apologize or that Maribel faced consequences. No, this wasn't about revenge or making someone suffer. This was about me, claiming my life back fully, without compromise, without guilt, without fear of judgment. The past few months had been insane. Every call, every message, every family lecture had built this pressure inside me until I felt like a balloon ready to pop. I had been insulted repeatedly, yelled at over video calls, screamed at in private messages, and gaslit by people who should have been supporting me. My own aunt lectured me about family duty. My uncle texted paragraphs about responsibility. And cousins I barely know sent passive-aggressive posts that hit my phone like bullets. Some people only care about themselves. And you're so cold, I can't believe it. I let them talk. I let them yell. I let them try to manipulate me. And each time, I responded in my head first, sharpening my boundaries like armor. You don't control me. You don't dictate my worth. You don't get to trade my life for your comfort. Then came the escalation. Maribel's husband tried to guilt me in a group chat. He sent a message accusing me of putting our family first over your family. I nearly laughed out loud. I typed one sentence. I put my life first because I'm done being your unpaid babysitter. He blocked me instantly, obviously unprepared for anyone standing up to him. My phone blew up again. Calls, texts, group chats, some with 30+ family members debating whether I was selfish or mature enough to be independent. Some posts were subtle, some blatant. My cousins tried explaining to me how family comes first. My aunt scolded me again via email for choosing a trip over real obligations. Maribel's friends sent messages about how I was selfish and cruel. I yelled back once in a text when I'd had enough. You have no idea what it takes to survive every single day without anyone helping you. Stop pretending my life is easy because it doesn't fit into your fantasy of family. Then I muted the notifications. Silence. Sweet, liberating silence. And that's when it hit me. The power wasn't in responding or defending myself. The power was in choosing me every single time. Family gatherings continued without incident. People who once whispered about my selfishness now asked me questions first, invited me to events, and listened when I spoke. Maribel tried showing up uninvited at one brunch. I sat at the far end of the table, smiled politely, and didn't engage. She seethed. Her husband hovered nervously. The kids were quiet. For once, I was untouchable. I didn't flinch. I didn't explain. I didn't justify. I just existed. Every insult thrown at me, whether online, in texts, or in person, bounced off. I no longer internalized it. I no longer felt obligated to defend myself to people who had consistently shown they had no respect for my life, time, or boundaries. I had earned my own respect. I had carved a space for myself that no one could invade. And the clarity was stunning. My cousin didn't break me. My aunt, my uncle, my whole extended network didn't break me. Their lectures, their guilt, their anger, it was theirs to manage, not mine. Their dissatisfaction was a reflection of them, not me. I wasn't responsible for their comfort. I wasn't responsible for their drama. I wasn't responsible for their children. Every step I took from that point onward reinforced it. Every sunset I watched on that trip, every quiet morning I spent journaling, every moment I spent laughing without a guilty conscience was a victory. I started planning my next moves with confidence. My energy shifted. I slept deeply. I spent money on myself without flinching. I explored without apology. I said no, not once, not twice, but as often as needed, and I felt the strength in it. And here's the final, undeniable truth. I would choose myself again. Every single time. No hesitation, no guilt, no regrets. Your cousin didn't just ask for help. She decided your long-awaited, hard-earned, once-in-a-lifetime solo trip was actually her personal babysitting voucher that she could cash in whenever she felt like. She didn't ask, she announced. She didn't respect your plans, she erased them. Then, when you dared to say this trip is for me, she and half the family acted like you kicked a puppy instead of simply refusing to give up the one thing you'd been dreaming about for years. She turned "Can you watch my kids?" into "How dare you have a life that doesn't revolve around my children?" She turned "No, I have plans" into "You hate children and you're destroying the family." She turned her own poor planning into "Your moral failing and the family." They didn't defend the cousin who worked herself to the bone with zero support. They defended the one who thought family means free labor on demand. They called you selfish for finally putting yourself first after giving everything else first for 4 straight years. They called you cold for having boundaries. They called you heartless for refusing to let someone walk all over you. You didn't burn bridges. They tried to build a bridge made of guilt, entitlement, entitlement, and manipulation, then got mad when you refused to walk across it carrying their kids on your back, that you're not the villain for choosing yourself. You're not selfish for protecting the tiny piece of peace you fought tooth and nail to earn. You're not heartless. You just finally stopped setting yourself on fire to keep people warm who never once checked if you were cold. So yeah. NTA, by a country mile. You didn't just go on a trip. You escaped a whole circus that thought your purpose was to be their unpaid safety net. Enjoy every second of the life you're building. You earned it. You deserve it. And nobody gets to take it from you again. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Got a story to share? Drop it in the comments and let us know which one was your favorite. If you enjoyed this video, you'll definitely want to check out AITA for cutting off my sister after she blamed me for ruining her marriage. Click here to watch it now.